This is definitely a crisis. I spent 2 days this week getting schooled, and I've seen firsthand the state of this public school and especially the parking lot situation, and we need your help. Stay tuned. Buenas tardes, mis amigos, y benedicciones para todos ustedes. Good afternoon, my friends, and blessings to you all. Hi, my name is Charity Hagenars, and welcome if you're new here, and welcome back if we were already old friends. On Wednesday morning this week, I was curled up in my bed around 7 o'clock. I heard the kids getting on their bus, and I was about to fall back to sleep, and the doorbell rings. I jumped out of bed, even without grabbing my phone to do any translation, and I ran out to the garage in my pajamas. The bus driver was there trying to explain to me that I had a parent meeting at the school at 8 a.m. Nobody told me I had a parent meeting at the school at 8 a.m. Now, Annika was sick the day before, so she stayed home. Apparently, if she had gone, she would have came home with a note saying there was a parent teacher at 8 a.m. for the grade 4 class. Now, I know this because while I was at the school, Lawrence sends me a text message with the note that he was receiving to say that I would have a parent meeting at the school the next day for the grade 9 class. So this is how I know it was supposed to happen. It didn't happen that way. I had no awareness that I was supposed to be at the school. And the bus driver was obviously willing to take me, trying to describe to me to put clothes on to get dressed. That didn't sound right. To get dressed and to come with him. So I never got dressed so fast in my life. Woo, put my clothes on, grab my backpack and my water bottle. Actually, I didn't even get to fill up my water bottle. I just grabbed it the way it was. I didn't bring any coffee, and I jumped in this bus, and that was a ride. So I ride at the school with the children, and I'm going to show you footage of how that looks from the child's perspective and how dangerous this highway situation really is. But before that, I have a couple stories. Just this week, there was a teacher in a school down the road from us who was crossing the same highway to get, I guess, to her car, and she got hit by a car, and she died. So this highway is very dangerous as far as people are driving very fast. Probably shouldn't be crossing it, but right now there's not a lot of pedestrian bridges that go between the two lanes. Perhaps that'll be built in the future, but everything's still under construction. And the drivers here in El Salvador can be a little un poco aggressive, okay? Is that un poco agresivo? Maybe I should look that up. Un poco aggressive, we'll say. Yeah, she didn't make it. And I've seen the crosswalk guards, I guess you call them, the teachers, put their orange vests on, take a couple of orange pylons out with a couple of stop signs in their hands, and walk out, put the pylons on the road, carry the stop signs so cars will stop to walk the kids and the other parents across the road. That's not ideal. So I think later on there might be a pedestrian bridge, but let's work on the parking lot side first. This really has to be addressed. So as you can see, this is what the kids have to walk through to get to school each day, especially if the bus is parked as far up as it did when we get off the bus. So you see that the teachers have already parked cars along the side of the road. That sort of signals to the kids to walk on the grassy side and kind of keeps a buffer between the very fast cars on the highway and the very slow children on the side of the road trying to get into their school. And as you can see where the kids are walking now, that is existing parking spaces against the wall. So it's either against the wall or right here alongside the highway. And further down, I don't know if you can see it, but I noticed it on the second day that they had barrels set up to divide the highway from the parking area to signal to people, stay in the highway, don't go off the road and hit these barrels and then the cars or the children. So this is the door to go in the school. And when you go in, it's covered. I guess it's great for rainy season. So as you can see, that highway situation is really desperate right now because it is very dangerous for the kids. And we believe that the highway will be finished in about the next 2 months. So we really need to get the wall broken to put a gate in to add the new parking area. And I did some footage around the school. You'll see here the different things. You see the janitor. This is how he gets his mop clean when he's mopping the tile floor. But most of the floor is actually concrete. It actually isn't tiles, except in the classrooms and a few other outdoor areas. And if we had enough money from the fundraiser, it'd be great to really spruce that part up. I noticed, cracked tiles here, cracked tiles there, or the cement has cracks in it in places that could definitely use some repairs. Or even if we had the money, we could put pavers down to make it a little easier to maintain over time as well, especially if there's any earthquakes or anything that shifts the ground a bit. Because once the concrete's shifted, obviously, it makes it a little dangerous when you're running around as a child. I noticed there's a plaque on the wall from TELUS. They must have donated to the school back in 2012. We could definitely use more donations like that now. This is the common area where the kids go for, I guess, any sort of assembly. There's a bit of a stage here. This is sort of the only tile that's on the outside, and he just mopped it. It looks very dull, but I don't like shiny wet tile when you're running around as a child. It kind of scares me, but you can see it's sort of damp there where he just mopped. And I actually saw him mop twice that day. It's one of those things where with the dry season especially and the highway construction, there's so much dust around the school. Even where the trees are in that planter box, you can see it's just hard packed dirt and around it. There's dirt around these benches, and the benches, of course, are all made of concrete as well. You can see the concrete floor here. Like I mentioned, there's cracks and different things. And I'm not sure how it works well in the rainy season, but it looks sort of like, outdoor open gutters in places around these tree trunks. You'll see some pipes sticking out here and there. I'm guessing they're collecting the water, and then they go into these lowered areas where these trees are, which is a great way to water the trees in the rainy season, I'm guessing. But, there's no flowers or grass or anything. It's just hard-packed dirt. And once the wind picks up, that blows around. And you'll see later on when I'm in the classroom how much dust accumulates in the classroom because of that. So public education's come a long way in El Salvador, but it still faces some major challenges. Historically, the education system has struggled due to the underfunding, political instability, and the lack of resources. And for decades, many schools had overcrowded classrooms, poor infrastructure, and limited access to quality teaching materials. I know right now the Annika's class has about 36 desks in it. I assume they're all full when the kids are in there. And I know that the funding may have been cut recently, but I also know that Bukele is working to improve over 5,000 new schools. He has plans for it and is providing the students with laptops, better technology, and safe learning environments. They've already actually renovated a couple of schools I saw some videos on. They look really nice and very modern. However, not all the schools have received these upgrades yet. Like I said, there's over 5,000. It's going to take many years. And when I spoke to the principal, he had no idea when the renovations would happen at this school. So right now, keeping the school clean is a daily struggle because it's very open air. As I mentioned, with the highway and the construction, the dust, these things make it really hard to keep the classrooms clean. So when Annika and I were finished with the parent-teacher meeting, we went out to see if the bus driver might still be around to give us a ride back before he picked up Willem, but he'd already left. So we were just looking around to see if we could see him. But just look at the traffic going by and with kids there. Like I said, they do come out with like a crosswalk sign to get the parents or kids across, but it's just so dangerous. Here's a couple of things around the school I thought were interesting. Here's some sinks set up for kids to wash their hands. As you can see, there's a leaky faucet there. This is the area, I call this the Courtyard. I'm not sure what it has an official name. This is sort of where they have a couple of grills back there. I guess maybe they do some barbecues or something for the kids now and then. That looks like it's the IT room or something like that. There's all these benches made out of concrete that are not the most comfortable to sit on, we'll say, after I'd spent all morning there. We didn't get home till 1 o'clock, so we were there for several hours in the school, and I can't imagine as a kid sitting there for long. It'd be nice if there was some more comfortable benches, maybe something made out of wood or a little softer than concrete. And as you can see, I talked about the ground and about the cracks and the drainage system. I think it'd be amazing if there was like drains sort of underneath the tiles and put pavers down instead of just concrete like that. I think that'd be amazing. But you see how they have lowered areas. I assume this is for the rainwater. And I think you can probably manage that with drains on the ground. Sort of like how we have in our backyard. We have the grass and there's a drain that goes down into an underground gutter system instead of the open air gutter. Yeah, it'd be really nice, I think, if we could raise enough money to put some nice things here for the kids to sit on. Even some kind of curved benches so they're not individual seats, so you can fit a few more bums down, because you can't fit a lot around some of these tables the way the little stools are made. I spent a lot of time on that very hard bench waiting for the bus driver to come back. Around the side of the school here, the school's actually beside a military base, so you can kind of see as I walk through there between the opening, you can see a chain link fence, and then that's the military side. And when we came into the school, there was a man in fatigues with a rifle right at the school gate, and there's a bit of a watchtower at the door, and he walked up there, and I said, Donica, oh, there's this guy here with a gun and everything. She said, yeah, he's keeping us safe. I think that's amazing. So this school is right beside this military base. It definitely has an advantage of keeping the kids safe from any kind of harms other than maybe the traffic. The traffic is the biggest thing right now. So I want to walk you around the rest of the school. On the left, you'll see there's openings there. Those are each of the classrooms. Usually above the classroom is a sign to say what grade they're in. Like I said before, this is that open area for probably concerts or meetings, assemblies, that kind of thing. On the other side, that blue wall, which is actually just a piece of canvas over the wall, I noticed, is where the vice principal and the principal's office is. The vice principal's on the left side of that wall, and if you walked around to the right side, that's where the principal's office is. So you can see it's just canvas over top of that wall. Is that interesting? Yeah, that's the door to the vice principal's office. Right there in the corner, that's Lawrence's classroom. I spent the next day in that classroom. I got to see quite a bit of the school. They do have some trash cans set up for recycling and things. I'd like to know more about that program. As you can see, there's an open air gutter system where that concrete dips down. So it's a little bit of a tripping hazard. It'd be great if that was underground. Of course, that's the secretary's office. I think people are lined up here. These adults are there to get IT support. That's something like informatics or help center or something like that. This is the pathway to the playground area and where the new parking will be. The playground, it could use a bit of work. There's a soccer field here. There's a basketball court. Actually, there's a hose there. You see that? He was watering, the janitor, I think, was watering the dirt earlier. I don't know if they're trying to grow grass or just trying to keep the dust down. But I don't know. There must be a solution for this when it's really dry right now in the dry season to maybe get that grass to grow a bit better to keep down the dust. Because if you notice in Annika's classroom, the fan blades were full of dust. The cubby area where they could, I guess they could put their backpacks there, although I think they normally keep them on the chairs. That was filled with like a layer of dirt in the top just from the dust blowing in from the road or from here. I'm walking up towards the new parking area. I do a better tour of this later on with the principal, but that's where I noticed that they had this basketball court there, and then I wasn't sure what the deal was with the basketball court, but that is staying, and you can see the wall in the distance, and that is sort of the perimeter of this property, and this will be the area where the parking is. But I hadn't realized there was so much greenery here. There's all these big trees, and they had, against the wall actually, is all banana plants they planted. It's about totals that they would be transplanting some of these trees, but they were going to try to keep the banana trees against the wall, as many as possible. I think it'd be great if we could grow other things out here. I don't know, like have a bit of an agricultural program for the kids, have fruits and vegetables, besides the bananas. I don't know if the other trees are mangoes or whatnot, but even a vegetable garden out here could be kind of cool. Good little project for the kids to do. This building here, that's actually the daycare or the nursery or kindergarten, whatever you want to call it, because I did find out from the principal what that was later on. But they don't really have their own playground equipment, I noticed. They have a bit of a field here. I don't know if they share the equipment with the other kids on the other side or what their deal is. I know in Canada we always kept the little kids really separate from the big kids, but they do have a fence here, obviously to keep the little ones from running away, and obviously the road is a really big concern for that. And this playground equipment, yeah, that's seen better days. Actually, I saw a Facebook post for the school last year about the slide that's broken. You'll see the orange pylon at the end of the slide. Well, I thought that post last year, like it was fixed by now, but it is not fixed. And you can see right here, it's not in good shape. There's a huge hole right there. I know kids are still going down the slide. I mean, the pylon's at the bottom, not the top. But yeah, you can get really cut with that plastic. That's not ideal. I think we could do better. I think we could do a lot better. If you guys can help us with our fundraiser, there's so many things you can see that could be fixed in the school, and not even for a lot of money, just a little bit. Like, the parking lot's a big part right now, but if you have a little extra, even just planting more plants or flowers, or like I said, get some seeds and get the kids to do some vegetable gardening. There's some pavers here, and they have pavers in an area in the back where they have a couple of vehicles parked. If the whole thing was done with pavers, it would be so beautiful and a lot safer because it can be made really flat and put all the gutter system underneath the pavers with pipes. Again, maybe it's a pipe dream, but if we had enough money raised, I think we could do a lot to help the school out. Even, fresh paint and get some, maybe some curtains on the windows to keep down some of the dust coming in. I don't know. There's all kinds of ideas. Maybe you guys can come up with some ideas in the comments of what we could do. Like I look at here, there's a pathway with a covering for the rain and trees on both sides, but it's just all dirt in there. What if we could plant all kinds of other stuff in there that, everything grows here. It's great. We need some good soil. But wouldn't that be great if that was a great big vegetable garden? Because this actually is the cafeteria. And they have a little place where people are cooking. You know, could use some new furniture, look at that. But there's a place where people are cooking and they could get fruit and vegetables right here in the garden at the school. That would be amazing. Some of this furniture can be repaired. Like my husband was looking at this wooden furniture here and he said, you know, sanding it down, varnishing it, that could be, you know, made to look a little bit better, or fixing any broken pieces, because there's a few like that. And even here where the dirt is, I think if this was continued with the pavers, it could be a much bigger seating area for the kids. Now some of it's covered and some of it isn't, so you have to kind of work with that. You see this little trench in front of me? That is one of the open gutters. So that fills up with water. You'll see later on I'm walking, somebody's running water somewhere, and it fills up with water. See this? You know, little kids in puddles. Can you imagine? They all have uniforms that need to stay nice and clean. And if this was full of water, they'd be like jumping and going crazy in there. This is, you know, a little bit of garbage. I don't know if this is cleaned up every day because it's not really a lot considering how many kids are in the school. But this area that's a military base in the distance. But this area is just, that would be beautiful, done up with flowers and benches and stuff for the kids to hang out. These beautiful trees here offering shade. You know, there's just so much that could be done here. And obviously getting rid of the garbage is a big thing. Raking up these leaves, maybe even making a compost pile, make a little agricultural program for the kids to learn how to plant their own food. I think that'd be amazing. There's just so much stuff to do. Oh yeah, I can't forget the chicken. There's a chicken at school. I know, this is not the North American standard to have a chicken at school, but hey, how about more than one chicken? What if we have a few chickens at school? What if we teach the kids more about farming? Maybe a little rabbit hutch or something like that. There's so much stuff we could do. And I think it'd be so much fun here to help out with the school and just bring more stuff for the kids. I'm just looking in the classrooms here. The kids are kind of seated, so you don't really see them. I was just kind of focusing on the walls, the artwork, I guess you could say. Some classroom teachers have decorated, you know, a little bit more. Like this lady here has obviously put a lot more emphasis on what's on the walls. Maybe it's a younger grade or whatnot. And then some are just pretty plain, like Annika's was really plain. But the walls themselves, you know, could use some fresh paint or just some cleaning. Like I said, that dust is really everywhere. But the windows don't have glass. Here's the water, I said, in the gutter. Look at that. Kids dream there to jump through those puddles. But maybe just curtains on the windows could help keep some of the dust out. There's also no way to keep out mosquitoes because there's no screens or anything like that. And of course, everything is just open anyway. And the doors are open to the classroom. So I'm not sure there's much point in trying to fix that. But the dust, I think we could definitely try to cut down on some of the dust. And also noise. You can imagine how noisy it is in those classrooms on this side of the building because it's right beside the highway. Here I am peeking into Lawrence's classroom. I'll just stop it here. Don't you guys think this chicken looks lonely? I think this chicken can use a few friends. That would be really cool. The kids could get fresh eggs to be used in their cafeteria. Oh my goodness. We never see this in North America. So now Annika and I are just hanging out in the cafeteria watching the chicken. But I noticed the roof here has a hole in it. So if it were raining, somebody would be getting wet. So again, a few more improvements can be done. Whether it's putting a new roof on this structure or putting a roof over the whole area to keep everyone dry if we had some more seating there. Wouldn't that be great? So here the principal's giving us a tour of where the new parking will be. And you see the big tree off on the right? That's sort of going to be the end of the parking from what I understand. And these little trees, like I said earlier, they're going to be transplanted because I guess they were just planted at pretty little. But the bigger trees will be staying, so the parking lot will kind of go between them. And the banana plants, he was trying to keep as many there as possible. However, some may have to be moved. Was it going to be here? This is where all the trees are planted.
Sí, explain.
Okay.
Esta sería la zona donde vamos a ubicar el parqueo. Estos árboles a lo mejor se van a tener que trasplantar, llevarlos a otro sitio. Queremos abrir el portón en aquella zona donde dice dale más imaginación.
Como en medio.
En medio.
Okay.
Ahí. Okay. Entonces, y ahí, esta parte.
Y la cancha ahí la van a tener que cortar.
Lo vamos a adecuar. Lo vamos a adecuar. A modo de que la cancha no se toque.
Okay.
So nobody's playing with that?
No, they will. It will be untouched.
Okay, untouched. Okay.
They'll figure out how to organize the cars and whatever. But it'll be right in the middle of that wall.
That wall, okay.
Between the field.
Esta huerta no la queremos quitar.
All those bananas.
Que entonces sí van a dejar las plantas de huerta.
Esta vuelta pensamos dejarla.
They want to leave them plant the trees.
They want to leave the bananas? Yeah.
Plants. They want to leave them alone, but he says that they may cut some.
Okay.
But they want to keep them.
Okay. So then these ones will be transplanted. Are these mangoes?
Yeah, these will be transplanted. Yeah.
Okay. So how many parking spaces? And
¿Cuántos espacios crees que saldrían de aquí? 20. O sea, poquito.
yeah, it is.
O sea, estarías a lo largo.
Allá, todo para acá, hasta allá.
To that tree, the big tree there?
¿Hasta ahí o más allá del árbol?
No, hasta por el árbol.
Hasta ese.
Hasta ese, ahí por ese barril.
Yeah.
Bien, caben, solo ahí van a caber como 5.
Okay.
Y para acá otros 30 caben bien.
30
Van a caber
cars.
bien.
Okay. And will there be a place for the buses to come in and kind of turn around and go out?
They have to maneuver.
Cuando
Yeah.
pensamos
For the
que entran
microbus.
y se ubican de salida.
They have to maneuver, but
Yeah.
they have space.
Yeah. Okay.
Y aquí como hay mucho polvo, que hay, yo imagino entrando vehículos que después lo van por acá. Se va a hacer mucho polvo.
Sería como unos $10,000 fácil.
Nosotros pensábamos que con un toquecito así, tal vez no pavimentando, sino teniendo grava. Grava unos 5 centímetros de grava, ya compactado, por en ese material pétreo.
Gravel. Yeah.
Yeah, gravel. Yeah.
Y entonces ya compactado no se va a mover mucho el polvo.
5 centimeters of gravel.
5 centimeters. 5 centimeters?
Yes.
5 centimeters. That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Y sería en esa
So
zona
it'll
de
be a
entrada.
gate, moving gate,
Yeah.
sliding gate. Right?
So what? So Bukele said he was redoing 5,000 schools. Is this school on the list, and when is it happening?
Dice, pregunta que escuchó que Bukele estaba diciendo que iban a reconstruir 5,000 escuelas.
Ahí-
Esta no está en la lista.
Hay un planteamiento de parte del presidente de mejorar cierta cantidad de escuelas, pero hasta este momento desconozco
Que esta escuela
que
esté
esta
en la
escuela
lista.
ya esté como
Con esa lista.
en una nómina para ser reconstruida.
Okay.
Muy probablemente sí. Sin embargo, no tengo conocimiento de algo oficial que diga que este año se va a reconstruir y todo eso. No, aún no.
Okay.
Ojalá sí, pero no tengo conocimiento oficial de eso.
Okay. So we don't know an official date.
No, he hasn't been told.
Yeah. Okay.
Nor officially, nor verbally, nor letter.
No, nothing. Okay.
But very
Okay.
likely it's included. Very likely, he said.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
Thanks for that.
I was actually wondering where the bathrooms were in the school, and when we were walking back, that's where I saw where the bathrooms were for the boys and the girls. And this is that area with the pavers I mentioned that had a couple of vehicles on it. Those would be great if the whole school had those as the whole walkway. I think it'd be amazing.
Don't forget to hit the like button.